Hi and welcome back to It's a Miracle Beauty and Lifestyle. Today I'm doing a video that I just honestly am very uncomfortable with and never thought that I would do. I don't have a ton of personal debt as far as credit cards. I have some. I'm definitely trying to pay it off and I don't love it. And I have a car loan, but the big part of my debt, then the most shameful part of my debt is my student loans. And I'm going to share you all of my real amounts, the exact amounts I owe on each one of my credit cards, the exact amount I owe on my student loans, the exact amount of my car loan and the situation behind that car loan. And it's one of those that I hope that it will bring motivation to see that I'm progressing past this, even though obviously it's a mess right now, but it is, I do have a plan. I'm making progress, but also that you can dig out of things. That's the goal of this, is to show, because even though I can't show my income because of my NDA, I can show my real numbers as far as what I'm paying, what I'm saving, and things like that. So I hope that this brings more transparency and also holds me accountable. I'm showing my debt and now I need to pay it. So it kind of helps me as well. If these are the type of videos that motivate you or help you continue your progress, because personally for me, they do, absolutely. Today I was watching, actually I think her name's Pink Cloth, and it really motivated me to see her write her debt. She had so many zero balances this year and it was so beautiful. So if that's something that motivates you, I hope that you will comment down below that, what motivates you, what helps you. Does it help you to see just where people start? Does it help you to see monthly updates? Like, I would love to hear more. Or also, if you wouldn't mind commenting where you're watching from. We're compiling our contest for 500 subscribers, and I did partner with Happily Ever Plans from Etsy, and we're looking to do 3 prizes. And I would like to see kind of what value we need to put for each area depending on how many subscribers I have from each area. So if you wouldn't mind commenting that down below, but I'm going to get started. I am going to show you all of my debt, how much I owe on each account, and where we're starting from. If that sounds like something you'd like to see, I hope that you'll keep watching, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. Let's get started on my debt truth. I am a channel that does mainly finance now. I was a beauty review channel almost entirely, and then as my debt built up from frivolous purchases as well as necessities, I realized I needed to make a change. I recently did in October, mid-October, I started budgeting and doing the cash envelope system, and I'm now working on my debt payoff plan. So I thought I would start with my consumer debt, like my credit cards and things like that. So we'll do that first. I'm going to speed up as I list them all because I do have a lot of credit cards. I don't have a lot of debt on them, but I have a ton of them. So I'm going to speed up as I write them all down, and then I'll slow it down when I start doing the balances. So I'm going to use a different color when it's a zero balance versus when I owe something. So I did pay off American Eagle last year, and I did pay off Express last year. So Sephora, I owe, and again, I said I have a lot, but they don't all have big balances. Ulta is $369. Care Credit is $383. This was actually just my largest balance. I owed, I think, $1283. And during the month of January, between the stimulus and my snowball, I actually paid off all but $383. So Mercury is next. That's $421. Target is $440. Oh, excuse me. That's wrong. It's $323 plus some change, so I'm going to do $324. I looked at the wrong line. QVC is $489. Walmart is $453. Apple is $468. Blaze is $661. Kohl's $651. And the other sheet I'm looking at doesn't have lines. It just says the dot grid, and so they're not always lined up perfect, so it's kind of annoying. 651. Cap 1 is 704. credit one, number one is $738. Amazon is $767. The second credit one is $811. First savings is $856. Sorry, I'm a lefty and writing straight is very difficult for me. Not just straight like this, but I mean with the paper straight. I usually tilt my paper, which makes it harder for you guys to read. So I am trying to adjust, but my handwriting is even more atrocious because of it. $950 for credit one, or excuse me, cap one, number two. Amex is $936. USAA is $966. And Saks is $1042, and Neiman's is $1272. I'll be really excited. Neiman's, or excuse me, Saks is about to go under 1,000. I'll be really excited. That's a card that I've paid off multiple times and then we'll charge back up and then take forever to pay off. So I'm trying to concentrate on it. It doesn't actually have a horrible interest rate. It's just not a perfect interest rate. I did not bring the interest rates with me, so I am not going to fill that in, but I am going to leave an opening for it. So if we look at the total debt that I have here, I'm going to speed it up as I add this up. So right now my total credit card debt is $13,547. I was actually, when I started this whole process in October, I was over 16,000. So I don't know the exact amount. It was like 16,014, something around there. And I'll figure it out and I will add it. But that means I've paid off not quite $3,000. I paid off about $2,500 in credit card debt so far, which quite honestly I'm very proud of, because I'm usually very good at paying off debt, and then it usually takes till I see the mountain that I'm like, oh wait, I should probably concentrate on that. Whereas now I'm actively reviewing my debt every single month, multiple times a month, to make sure I'm paying them. So this is credit card debt. I actually want to write that on there just so I keep track of it all. And again, sorry for the atrocious handwriting, but cannot write well this way. So that is my credit card debt. So if we go over, I only have one other debt besides student loans. I have a very high interest car loan because I needed to get rid of a vehicle that someone had paid late and I needed to roll that in. So in order to roll it in, they charge you way more interest, and that's my fault. I should just took the time and paid it off, but hindsight's always 20/20. However, unfortunately, because of that, this car loan is taking forever to pay off because it is such a high interest. I'm just now getting the point that about half of my payment goes to the actual principal. When my balance goes in Monday, so as of 1/18/2021, my balance will be $78.42.22. Now, you might ask, okay, if you know it's a high interest loan, you know you're losing money on this, why aren't you paying it first? And honestly, I'll be very blunt. The reason I'm not paying it first is the car loan company that I have my car loan through does not report to my credit bureau. So on my credit bureaus, all three, it shows no car loans. I've paid off every car loan on there, some of them relatively large, so it looks really good. And it also looks like I don't have a car loan. So I don't want to work on this when I can work on my credit card debt, which physically raises my credit score. My credit score has gone up almost 50 points since October from lowering the balances. You want to stay below 30%. By lowering these balances, my credit scores have skyrocketed. And I am referring to FICO scores, not fake scores or Vantage Point scores. My FICO scores have skyrocketed. So that is the goal right now, because I am looking to buy a house after I pay off my debt. So my credit score is way more important to me personally than that wasted interest. So to me, it's kind of a life lesson. And by taking it longer to pay it off, I'm honestly kind of punishing myself because I'm the one that got myself in that mess and nobody can get me out. My car loan is $366 per month, but I think originally it was through 2023 is when it would be paid off. I'm hoping not to do that. What I'm planning on doing, and this is just a goal, I'm not sure if I'll accomplish it, but let me just try to see if I can bring these in frame together. So if we look at my credit card debt is $13,000 and my car loan debt is $78,000. So if you look at this, it's about $21,000. I make enough that if I play my cards right and I am very dedicated, I could easily pay both of these off by the end of the year. If we get more stimulus or bigger stimulus, or if I get a really good tax return, which I don't know that I will this year due to some things that happened due to coronavirus, I definitely could. But just being dedicated, I really feel I could pay that off. Here's why, if you saw my video, and I will tag it in the cards, I had a $7,000 goal for my savings challenges. That is what I was looking at right there. I looked at it and I said, I'm going to be making that monthly payment. So let's see, roughly $200 comes off each payment that's actually going to the principal, and it goes up every month, but it's roughly $200. If I'm paying that, then this should alleviate a lot, and then the balance I will use my saving challenges to pay off. So my goal is January 1st of 2022 to have zero consumer debt other than student loans. And that's where things are about to get really ugly. That is one thing I'll be very honest, I have not created an attack plan yet. I am so overwhelmed by the physical total of it that I have not done anything as far as a plan. So let me set my sheet up. So as a lot of people realize, or if you've been watching videos, the federal government shut down payments as well as interest charges on student loans way back. I think that was done in April or May. Right now, it's extended through January 31st. They're expecting that Biden is going to sign a thing that extends it all the way through September of 2021. So if I go to my student loans, they are so ugly. They literally give me anxiety, but I'm going to do it. I actually had never planned on filming this video. So I kind of wanted to show debt in a little spurt. Like I'd show you what card I'm working on, show you what exactly I was concentrating on. It gives me a lot of anxiety to actually share this, but I do want to be transparent and honest. So my grand total, all loans, all compounding interest and everything, I want to throw up as I write this number, $160,061.80. Of that, 154,311.01 is my principal. 57,50.79 is interest. There are 20 loans total. Each range from, let me see what the smallest one is. Smallest is $811.93, which is from my undergrad. The largest is $27,277.14. So I actually got my associates, I got my bachelor's separately. My associates was basically free through grants and things like that. I was a single mom for a lot of it, so I was able to get a lot of it through grants and scholarships. My bachelor's degree was, I paid about half to 3/4 of it through loans, and then I started my master's. Unfortunately, I was a fool and made some changes in my master's that cost me money. First of all, I started off as going for psychology. I do have a bachelor's degree in psychology. I was planning on being a counselor or a psychologist. Once I got into the degree program and actually started doing it every day, I realized that I would not be a good psychologist or counselor. I would own too much of my clients' problems and take them home with me. And that's a fault that you don't want to have in that field, right? You don't want to be taking home someone else's problems. You have your own. So I changed my mind. So then I switched over at that same university, which is a local university. I switched over to my second passion in life, which is history. I'm a huge history buff. In my undergrad, I took every history class available. And I wasted, I think, 3 to 4 semesters catching up because I'd concentrated on psychology. I had history classes and poli-sci classes I needed to take. So there's a bunch of loans. Then they did not have the degree program that I wanted for my master's in history. So then I transferred initially to Rutgers University, which is in New Jersey, but they had an online program. Wasted. This right here is a semester that I realized it basically is a gen ed master's. They say you're concentrating in history or whatever it is. It's just liberal studies, and it wasn't what I was looking for. So again, wasted. This semester also, this huge amount, I actually had an emergency removal of my gallbladder, and I ended up having really serious consequences. I was in the hospital for nearly the entire semester, and my financial aid department would not refund, waive anything, even though I was able to drop my classes, which is illegal, but I could not get help from New Jersey's Attorney General. Anybody, they all just said, basically, you're screwed, have a good day. So that's where I'm at. So the only plan of action right now that's kind of in the back of my mind, again, I want to pay my car loan, I want to pay my credit cards first, is I will just start at the smallest item and pay everything I can afford to pay on that smallest item, and then work to the next and the next and the next. And this bad boy will probably be 10 years from now. I don't know, but it's very frustrating. So I want to do a grand total of all the debt. So let me do that really quick. Let me set this sheet up. Let me get the labels down. Actually, I don't want to do that. Let's do this one. Let's see. Credit cards, auto loan, student loans. Again, I apologize for my handwriting. It's very hard for me to write straight up and down. So we figured out that my credit card debt is $13,547.00. Because I round. I do not get in the pennies. It's not my thing. Auto loan is 78, it's actually 78.42.22. I'm actually going to do 78.43. I always try to stay in that, you know, no change thing. And then student loans is $160 with $61, actually $62. I love these erasable pens. Okay. So if we do a grand total, and that line was crooked as crooked comes, if we do a grand total is $181,452, which if I didn't have student loans, my debt would be easy as pie to look at, to verify, to figure out, make a plan. But this is my anxiety point right here. I don't know. And I can't mentally, I'm sure once I start paying on it and the plan takes full circle, I'll understand what I need to do. But that number is so scary and so overwhelming that I just try not to look at it. So that is, again, I never planned to film this. I never wanted to show, you know, there's a lot of shame connected to debt, and I never wanted to show my debt. However, I think it's really hard to be a person that's being transparent in your finances and not show all of your finances. Again, if you've watched any of my videos, the one thing I can't share because it's a contract is my salary, because I do have a non-disclosure, but I'm trying to be transparent on everything else. I do budget with real numbers. I do budget with real situations. If you saw my video that went up yesterday, it's my week check-in, and it's horrible. I mean, I spent so much money on eating out. And so that's part of this, is it's to hold me accountable, to be transparent, but also show, like, as I pay things off, hopefully it can show, hey, I can do that too, versus saying, holy cow, look at that girl did. She has so much debt. So this is my debt truth as of January of 2021. I hope that you'll follow me through the year and see the progress that I make. I feel like I've already made tremendous progress, both in my attitude and skills with money, but even more so in the amount of debt I've paid off. I mean, I paid off basically $1,000 off of my care credit this month, plus other debt. That's not the only thing that I paid. So I feel like I am making progress. I'd like to increase it, make it even better. The other thing is as I work towards 500 subscribers, we do have a huge contest coming. It's actually going to have 3 prizes, and I partnered with Happily Ever Plans from Etsy with it. And we're going to have a grand prize for the US, a first prize for the US, as well as 1 prize internationally, US and Canada, excuse me. The first prize and grand prize are US and Canada. And then there's going to be a prize that's actually going to be a digital gift card, I'm thinking. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do Etsy or Cash App or how I'm going to do that, but I want to do something for international subscribers. So don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell, ring the bell, and select your notifications so you don't miss that video. It will be coming, I would say, in the next week. I'm going to be announcing exactly what's in those prize packs, and I'm very excited. I mean, I would be stoked to get one of those gifts. Really, we did a great job putting these together. So don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and I would love it, and it does help all of us in the algorithm if you like this video and share it. And I hope wherever you are that you guys are safe, healthy, and I hope you have a great day, guys. Bye.